Good morning. It's Wednesday, so we are going to have a bit of a play around today, and I thought I would do some scrap busters because somebody mentioned, I think it was Maxine mentioned it last week. So I've got a couple of scrap buster ideas. I've got my I haven't got all of my coloured card scraps. I've got a good couple of handfuls of my scraps that we're going to use today. So that's my plan, and I think we're just going to get going. Yeah. So let's see if I can get this right today. There it is. So what have I done? I've got two in front of me. I'm not sure how many will get done, but I've got two ideas floating around in my noodle that I fancy having a try at. So I've gone to my favourite go-to card size, which is my 5x7, and I have literally just cut myself out, well, die cut, not very neatly, a bit of an oval. I was trying to do circle, but I couldn't find any sizes that wanted to work together, so I'm going to have to change it up a little bit. So I've got my circle, and I've got one of my beautiful Darling Doras from the other day, which we can see where we're going with this. It's going to end up a bit like that. So I'm going to move them all to one side, and then this is where my scraps come in. Let me just check. I did. I took the right size card then. You know when you have that thought, it's like, oh, that looks rather large. No, it's the right one. And all I'm going to do, is grab my little guillotine, and we're going to create a bit of a background. I'm not going to use my inks or anything like that. I am literally going to use the scrap out of my scrap box. So, I was doing it already. I was trying to choose, and I'm not choosing. I'm just going to go for whatever comes out first. Morning, Mum. See, I wasn't too sure if it was chilly or not. That sun is beautiful out there when it decides to come out. Because I was playing washer roulette. You know when you say to it, it says it's got 1 minute left on the timer, and you still stood there 5 minutes later. Right, I think I'm going to do 3 of that one because I quite like this spotty. So all I'm going to do for this one is create a background using my scraps of card, which is going to leave me with some more scraps, which hopefully we'll be able to use as well. So I'm just doing little 1-inch strips. So you can still see that. Yes, you can. And then I've got some pink. I haven't chosen these. I'm just literally going back through my scrap box to create something. And we will move this all around in a minute. So I've got a couple of pinks. I've got another shade of pink. That could be interesting, couldn't it? I know I'm having a root now to see what else is in my scrap. Oh, I'm going to take that paler shade of pink as well, which kind of tells me that is going to be the theme of my card. Because I hadn't put a name on it yet, had I? So it's going to be pink. And yes, I'm using quite big scraps for this, but you could just use any scraps you've got. There we go. And I think, where's my little die cut shape gone? There. I just need to make sure. Now I want one top and bottom, I think. Do I? Maybe I don't. I want a different colour in there. Do I want an injection of a different colour? How does this one look? That could look quite cool, couldn't it? So again, I'm just going through. Yes, look at that. Nice little stab of colour there. I think I'm going to do one in the middle as well. There we go, that's going to look cool, isn't it? So I've got pinks, I've got that lovely black spot, and I've got that injection of, it's like a greeny turquoise. So that's what I'm going to start with. Now, I do want, I've got the eye once, haven't I? You can always tell it's going to be one of those days. I want this to be there and that to be there. And I'm just going to start chopping these. Ooh, that wasn't cut very straight, was it? That's okay. We will work with it. Can I use my guillotine again? It's really bugging me, that one's nowhere near being straight. Let's see what went wrong. Oh, it is ish. Not as bad as it looks. Then all I'm going to do is start cutting these down, because I don't want them to be the same size. But what I'm doing is I'm going to cut little 1-inch squares for our next make. So I'm going to make a pile of 1-inch squares. So this one, I'm going to start cutting them down. There we go. And I do want them a bit higgledy-piggledy. I might have got 2 out of some of these if I'd have thought about it beforehand. I wasn't in a very thinking mood though. I had an idea and I was going to run with it. So you can see, I might even do a higgledy-piggledy on here. I've got some of these lovely little scraps. Yeah. I could be tearing the edges as well. It's just I've got my guillotine out now, so I might as well keep using it, hadn't I? I'm not worrying too much about the spaces, because we can work around that in a minute, can't we? There we go. I think I might leave that one. Looks like a nice size to be on there, doesn't it? And then I've got a bit of our black spotty again. Right, I think I've got more than enough to... Morning, Maxine. I think I said that, didn't I? Sorry. It's when I suddenly look up, or remember to look up. Right, so I'm just going to start sticking these. Now, if I had... Actually, I'm going to use my glue, I think. Slide it over a bit. And I'm not going to stick them in any particular order. But I'm going to give myself a bit of a border around this. As you can see, I've left probably about 1/4 inch. Okay, I'm going to do the same on this side. I'm going to twist it around and I'm going to do something like that up at the top. And slowly just build it up. I don't want it to be, I want it to be random. So we've got some pink, oops, fingers and thumbs. I do quite like that dotted because it helps me line up. Do me green on this one now. There we go. Decisions. I'm overthinking, aren't I? I should just splat it on and see how we go. It's so easy to overthink, isn't it? There we go. I am trying to like alternate it a bit, so I've got a bit sticking out one side and then a bit on the other. I still come too close together here. Again, you can see I am just trying to keep that bit of a border I did. You can tell I want that lovely dotty on the top, can't you? Can I do that this side? So do that one there, I think. And then I'm going to pop that one in the middle-ish. So really quick little background. Can't remember what I'd stuck on and what I hadn't then. I stuck that one on. I'm tricking myself there. There we go, I'm going to put that one right in the middle. No, I'm not, because it's nowhere near middle. There we go. And then I'm going to get this over the top. Yep. It's going to look quite cool, isn't it? Would look nice if I'd have roughed the edges up as well. So, don't need them two for now. Pop them over there. But I do need this, and I want some scrap cards. What did I do with my scrap? There we go. That's the bit I cut out from before. So I've got Our Darling Dory. You know this is one of my go-to stamps at the moment. I am very... well, I'm having fun using them. Like I said, they're my go-tos at the moment. Oops. There we go. And to be honest, I'm getting pretty good at putting them back on their acetate. So they're where they should be. So I do know I can just go and grab them. Making sure it's stuck. And then let me just grab my black ink. Oops. Bits of tissue everywhere still from Monday, you know, when I was distressing. Just seems to have gone everywhere. Okay, so I'm giving this a good ink up. I didn't need to do the whole stamp. And I'm just going to make sure this one is all on, but my other, not so much. There we go. Let's give that a good rub. Or not if my hands don't want to play. There we go. There's that one. And then let me get that off my desk. If I don't, that's where the start of Inky Pinkies comes from, isn't it? There we go. And then I'm just going to, on my scrap, nearly lost my scrap then, stamp that big flower head again. There we go. I don't have to, it'd look quite nice just how we've got it, but if I stamp the extra flower head, then it'll dangle off the edge, won't it? It will look quite pretty. I'm going to pop Dora back over there, and we're going to get our heat gun out. I'm using Versatile Class, so I'm just making sure it's dry before I start doing anything else with it. we go. And now if I look at my background, see how beautiful that's going to look. That's going to sit there, and then we're going to get that flower head coming out there, which then, to balance it, sentiment down here. Yep. Don't know what I'm doing today. I'm showing you everything not on the screen. So flower head will stick over this bit, and then we'll get some sort of sentiment down in this bottom corner. Yeah. But we have this background, and this kind of tells me what colours I'm going to do my flowers in. I need that bit, doesn't it? So I'm going to choose my pinks to work with on this one, and then now I always do this flower in pink. Yep. And then I've got my green as well that'll come through. But if my papers had been a different colour, I'd have gone back to that background, had a look which was the one that was sticking out the most, or not sticking out the most, standing out the most, and use that colour too. So I have got those two. I want a nice pink, and I want obviously peel paint, because that is my go-to for my foliage. So I'm going to use that one, and I want a proper pink, don't I? So we are looking for picked raspberry, probably. So let me just have, and there it is. Oops. I think he needed to do a pink that was like picked raspberry, but more of a deeper shade, you know, like seedless preserve, kind of in between those two. But he didn't. Would have been nice. So I'm just going to paint this up really quickly. Am I running out of water again, as always? There we go. So I'm going to start from the foliage, because you know me, I like to start with that. So I am going to paint this big flower, even though I say paint, it's not painting, is it? My version of painting. It's splatting some colour down, is what it is. There we go. I'm just going to keep adding to this now, building it up slowly. And I forgot to do my extra, didn't I? Never mind, we'll get back to that in a second. Yep, just adding a little bit darker colour. Oops. There we go. Let's just do this one really quick. Ooh, too watery. Let's add in a bit darker. And then just pick that up, because that was looking a bit, well, like a straight line of colour, wasn't it? So I'm just going to knock that back a little bit with some water to get it to blend a bit better. So I think I'm done with my green. I'm not going to do any splodges, I don't think, any splatters, because we've got such a busy background, haven't we? There we go. Now we need to do our pink. Got our lovely pickled raspberry, or picked raspberry. I don't know why I always say pickled, I always have them. I'm not even sure if you could pickle raspberries. Interesting. I'm sure somebody's tried it somewhere, haven't they? So again, I'm just going in with that really pale colour. Though to be fair, people pickle all sorts, don't they, these days? I'm just going to start building up my colour. Just like that. And I know I'm painting this bottom one as well, only because if I don't line it up right or somebody's inspecting, they will see. I don't want them to see blank whites. I want them to see the flower. Yeah, though if they're inspecting that close, I mean. Again, I'm going in really pale to start with. And there we go. Take some of the water out of my brush, and then let's just start putting some of this colour down again. Right, and you can see I have virtually run out of ink on my desk, so I'm just going to pop some more down. Now make sure if you need to add more, you don't pop it on your water and you don't pop it on what you've already touched, because otherwise all the water and moisture you've got in this bit here, I know it doesn't look like much, but there is quite a bit of moisture in there, will just suck straight up into that ink pad, and we don't want that, because ink pads are expensive and we want to make sure they last as long as possible. So we don't want to be adding water to them, and we don't want to be doing anything that's going to contaminate them. We just want them to last as long as possible, because I've got some distress inks that go back to 2015 and they're still going strong. Okay, they might need popping on the lids a few times, but the colour's still there. It's still nice and juicy. Obviously my oxides don't quite go back that far, because they weren't invented then. Right, I'm quite happy with that. And again, I am not going to splatter. I'm going to embrace the white space, because we haven't got much white space going on this card, have we? Because I went a bit overboard with my background. But I hope you'll agree, it'll be worth it. I'm just going to dry these off before I start cutting out and giving myself inky pinkies again. My finger's still a bit blue from the other day, you know. Okay, that one a bit of a whack. The only downside of using scraps out of my white scrap box is I don't always grab my go-to card. So this is quite a thin one. This is definitely not my white wave that I'm used to working with. So sometimes you'll find something in there. It isn't quite what you're expecting. I might as well use that bit for me saying as well. So we've got this going on. I am going to just chop this out again. I'm going to leave myself a bit of a border. I don't really have to on this one because we've got white in the background, but I just find it easier for cutting out. People don't tend to notice my really bad cutting out. I finished mid-sentence then, didn't I? Yeah, they don't tend to notice bad cutting out if you leave a bit of a border, especially with these like higgledy-piggledy lines, my doodle lines, which is one way I draw like that. Yep, see that's going to go like so. Let me put my rubbish in my bin. I've got my little black mat, like so. Yep, and then we've got our background. All those gorgeous bits of paper on. Yeah, so that's all coming together now quite nicely. Yeah. See, you can tell I'm having a, do I want to, do I not? And you know what, I think I do. Even though I've got a lot of textured card on here, I think I'm going to do a little bit of doodling, just to emphasise some of these pieces. So I'm going to grab a pen. And then, I'm not going to bother with the black, because you're not really going to see the black, are you? Feels really weird to be drawing over the top of such bobbly paper. See, when I stuck it down, I said to myself, oh, should I use the textured side or the not textured side? And obviously the textured side won, because, well, it's me and I like my textured stuff. I'm going to start adding a few little bits to it as I go. I didn't quite realise that this textured stuff's got quite a sheen to it, or a coating on it. As you can see, my pen is going to take a bit to dry on it, so I'm just going to have to be careful when I come to do anything else. Which is always good to know, isn't it? Because otherwise you'll turn it over to stick it on something, and next thing you know, you've smudged everything. And then you're having to somehow find ideas. See, doesn't that look better? Yep, that's going to go on there. I might even give it a blast with my heat gun in a moment. Yep, move that up there. I wasn't going to, but I want to tie everything together, so I'm going to do a bit of a doodle just around the edge. And I'm using a only a 4mm pen, 0.4mm pen, because yeah, 4mm would be quite a lot to do this with, so it doesn't. And anytime I come near that flower or my image, I am just stopping and starting again. Yep. That's going to go on there like so, and that goes on there, and then I'm going to grab my white pen in a second, but before I do, let me just blast that, otherwise I'm going to get good old inky pinkies, you know what I'm like. I am being very careful today, not like me at all. I've got my heat gun out, let's do this one as well. Quickly blast that pen. I know it won't dry it completely, but it'll stop it just. There we go, just did a really quick blast on that. Does obviously need a bit more. It is a good use of scrap, isn't it? And you know what, if we can do a few more of these, I might actually be able to start to close my drawer. Because I've got a playing card one, so my white card, and then I've got a coloured one. Drawers, and they're just not, well, they're nowhere near closing, and I really need to get them closing. Because it got to that point now where every time I walk past the drawers, I bang my leg on it. So even the drawers are saying, oi, come on woman, sort me out. Not fair. There we go, I'm going to stick that on there. And if I can, oh, that's not a white pen. I do that all the time, don't I? I grab my I've got one that's got a white lid, but it's a black pen. So somewhere I must have a black pen, a black lid with my white pen. I'm just going to do this really quickly. I'm going to go the other way around so I don't end up putting inky pinkies everywhere. I've done so well so far not to get inky pinkies. Got these gorgeous scallops or something else, aren't they? Lovely scalloped edge. Let's make a bit of a feature of them. And I hope you're impressed. I actually found my die cut machine for this morning and the right plate so I could use it. There we go. Pop my pen back, and then we are going to pop this together. I'm not going to use glue, I'm going to use foam pads. So let's, oh, just bent the end of my pin. Oh, my comments aren't coming through. Thank you, Maxine. Don't know why they're not coming through this morning. It's looking pretty, isn't it, Maxine? Well, it's getting there. So I'm just going to turn it over very gently because I don't want to smudge anything. And I've got these super duper big foam pads that you really would never really need a foam pad that size. So I've just chopped them in half, but they're lovely and deep. They're not your usual foam pads, they are quite deep ones. I'm just going to add this on here. Do that. And then we're just going to pop that on there like so. Close enough. And then I've got my other foam pads next to me. I want my smaller ones, my skinnier ones. Because otherwise we're just going to end up with a super fat card, aren't we? And whilst I'm all for depth and things, sometimes you just don't want too much. So we've got that lovely big layer on the bottom. And I use these slightly smaller ones, thinner ones on the side. There we go. We're going to pop that down. I've not done a sentiment yet, which could be my undoing, but I'm liking how it looks. So if I don't fit a sentiment on, I don't fit a sentiment on. I know, rebel. So it's that one I need to add a second one to. Because we've got varying layers, I want to add extra depth to the one that's hanging over the edge so it doesn't droop. Yep. And I'm just going to pop that on there. There we go. How pretty is that? And then I think I'm going to cheat because I did say I wanted to do another one, didn't I? And otherwise we'll be here all day if I keep faffing. So I'm going to cheat and just use a little bloom that comes with this stamp set, because otherwise I will be searching a wee while because I haven't got that much space. There we go. that lovely dot. I was going to say I'll just use that little scrap there. It's got that dotty paper on it. You know I want to use that dotty paper. There we go, that scrap will do that. So I'm just using Bloom that comes with this stamp. But I'm sure I could have found a happy birthday or something, or whatever I needed, or just because, thinking of you. A nice generic saying that we could send, because I think this is quite a nice one for, you know, just having those just in case kind of cards. You know that you don't know that you need until you need them, and then you need a really quick card, don't you? So if you're playing with your scrap, this would be quite a nice one just to have ready. There we go. Let's just trim this down. And I'm trying to decide, does it need, it does, doesn't it? Just needs a little bit behind it, so let's grab a bit from before. I'm trying to see if I've got any space where I could use it. And glue. I said I didn't want me glue, but I did. I really am fingers and thumbs today. Don't mean to be. Some days though it just, my fingers just don't want to work. And today is one of them. So I've just gutted that because I don't think it'll fit in the guillotine. Get them out of the way. Move that over there. So we only want a smidge of a border. I need a smidge of a smidge less, but now I can't get to it. Yeah, come on. I should have just left it, shouldn't I? There you go. Really didn't need to take much off it, but even yeah, I could see it wasn't quite right. And then could have done with it being in that lovely green, couldn't I? To be honest. But that's okay. I'm just going to grab my foam pads again. And I'm just going to add 2 to this end to poof it up enough. So it stands up. I think I've over poofed it now. Never mind. Right, I've needed my foam pad in a different place. And then I'm just going to add the decisions. There, yeah, I needed a foam pad on that end. See if I can sneak one in. Oh, I can. I wouldn't advise after you've stuck something down to unstick it. But it works. Pop it there, shall we? There we go. Right, so nice little scrap buster for you, using up lots of those little strips of paper that you get. Right, so that was one. I did say we'd try and do 2. So I've got another, this is my 6x6, and we're going squares on this one. We've done rectangles on that one. We're going to go squares on this one. So I've got everything everywhere. So for this one, I've got my leftover strips from before, and I know I cut them at 1 inch, so I am just going to put these down to be 1 inch. Yep. Again, just using these little tiny bits we've got left over. Would help if I'd cut my strips straight, but doesn't have to be perfect because we can go a bit higgledy-piggledy. Oh, thanks, Maxine. I am having quite good fun using up my scraps, and you know, I've got to think, we want to make sure I can get in my drawer, or actually close the drawer. I'm all up for closing that drawer. Now I have got a really cool piece of pattern paper as well, which I think will work. So I don't think you're going to get much of it. I'm just going to cut a little piece of this one. I'm just going to be aware that I've got writing on this one as well. I had it in my head that I wanted to use this, you could tell, couldn't you? It's there sticking out my box at me going, yep, use me. Use me. You know you want to. Use this one. Okay, let's grab another bit of this pink. Put that one down there. I'm only going to do it 4 blocks wide, I think, because otherwise it's going to be a bit of a squash and a squeeze, isn't it? Just got that pink one on. I'll do another one of them. I do like this patterned one. So, and then I want to start this so it looks like it's starting to fall away a bit. What have we got left? We've got some dotty. Let's have a bit of that pink. Like it's just starting to fall. But I do want to leave enough room for a sentiment on this one. I'm going to think this through first. So, my go-to sentiment has gone. Where is it gone? It's got to be on here somewhere. Where has it gone? Rude, it's not where it normally is. Okay, maybe we won't use my go-to sentiment. I have to use a different one. Oh, there we go. That one will do. I was going to use my Happy Birthday Gorgeous because, well, we all know how much I love my Happy Birthday Gorgeous. There you go. I can fit another couple of squares, well, another square on there, can't I? I'm going to go for me spotty because I do like me spotty. And that one's just going to look like it's fading away. Or falling away. Fading away, falling away. And then we can start positioning these a little bit better. So that it looks like I've actually tried. Yep. Yes. You can see where I'm going with this one, can't you? So let's get this stuck in. I've got glue all over my fingers. And ink. How did I get ink everywhere? Got my little dots. I could use a ruler, I suppose, if I was being really. But I could do this with anything. I've used squares because, well, I was cutting strips from the other one and I've got leftover squares. However, get your die cuts out. Imagine doing the same thing with flowers. Yeah. Could do them with circles. Anything. It would work. I'm just trying to line them up best I can. And then remember, I've got text on this one. But I've used hardly any card on this one, haven't I? All those little bits, because let's face it, these bits will be the bits that are going in the bin, but they don't have to. So now I need to space this one out as well. And also bear in mind, I'm not the best at cutting things square, so my squares probably aren't that square. They don't have to be either. But yeah, circles would look really cool doing this. Oh, I've already stuck that one on. I was ahead of the game. And if you did want to be really, really smart, you could. Oops. Actually line it up before you stuck it down, but yeah, just use a ruler or something to just give you your line that you're working to. And then where are we going to put that one? There. Oh, I've ended up, oh no, I've ended up with things. Oh, that's not good. Look, I've ended up with, whichever way I do it, I'm going to end up with like a row of either pink or black. I didn't mean to. They're all stuck down now. So even when I try and do random, it didn't work. I was overthinking, wasn't I? Popping that in there. And then these ones I'm going to pop in a minute, but I'm going to use a bit of foam pad for them. So I'm going to stamp straight onto my card. Oh no. I thought we'd been booted off YouTube then for a minute. We haven't, we're still there. I'm going to get this, I'm going to stamp it that way. And this is a great one because you can see I've got that lovely corner that I'm using because it's flat on one edge, yeah? So it fits in this corner perfectly. Yeah, if it had been aligned the other way, I'd have done it in the other corner. It is a little bit simple, this one, isn't it? But I think sometimes we need to go back to easy things. There we go. I haven't really done much stamping either, have I? So we've stamped a saying and we've stamped a flower, and that's it. There we go. So I'm going to use these ones, and they are just going to be, this would be a great one for doing with the kids as well, because again you don't have to line it up. Let them die cut a load of shapes, butterflies, flowers, whatever, and then just let them pop it onto. And a great way of using up your scrap at the same time. So we're going to have these just fall in. I'm going to do that on the top one. I think I've ended up with a black one then, haven't I? Yeah, that'll do. Could have done some of these layered up as well, couldn't I? See, I always have a bit of an idea what I want to do, but never really the whole idea. So that is going to go on there like so. I can't decide if I want to do a little bit of doodling. I think I do. Only a little bit. Just on some of our shapes. Where's my pen gone? There it is. Just trying to get the other one. Yep, so all I'm going to do is just do quick little doodles. And you know what? The reason I'm doing it is because when I looked back then, you could really see that these weren't lined up very well. But now I've put a doodle in it, it's almost like it was meant to not be lined up properly. So I'm getting away with my rather bad cutting out, and I'm getting away with and again, it doesn't take much, does it? But these really are the scraps you would be throwing away. I am tempted to try and find a butterfly punch and do a butterfly version. Or a circle. A little 1-inch circle punch. That'd be quite cool. Go. There we go. I'm not going to faff with that too much because we know it looks a bit better, doesn't it? Put that back in there, and then I'm just going to grab. I should have stuck it before I did my doodling. However, I don't always think these things through, do I? So I'm trying to be gentle on the back of this. Oops. Trying not to make it move. I got away with it. That's okay. I know, normally I get inky pinkies right, left and centre, don't I? Which for me, these have been really, I know they are really easy cards to do, but they are also really tough for me because I do struggle with my big fat sausage fingers and trying to not get inky pinkies everywhere. So there we go. We have done 2 really quick scrap busters today, using just bits out of my scrap box, yeah, and cut them into strips. I chose 1 inch because I knew I wanted to do something with the squares, yeah. And then I've just, well, you can see what I've done. I've added Darling Dora to that one. I am loving this, yeah. I like this one as well, really simple. Again, great for one that's just popped in that box where if you need a card really quick, your little go-to box, yeah. So 2 really quick scrap busters for you. I just need to blow my nose again. Can't tell if it's my hay fever kicking off because everybody's been cutting the grass, or it's how cold it has got all of a sudden. So there you go, 2 really quick scrap busters for you today. Oh, my mouse has gone to sleep. Always disappears my mouse, doesn't it? Nope, definitely gone to sleep on me. So thank you so much for joining me this morning. I hope you enjoyed those, and I hope it inspired you to get in those little scrap boxes, because I know we've all got scrap boxes, and I know, well, in my case it's a drawer that I can't close, and there is some really nice little card in there, and we can do all sorts with it really, can't we? Create some lovely backgrounds. So that is it from me today. Like I say, hope you enjoyed them. I am back on Monday with some more monthly make. Yeah, I'm back Monday with some more monthly. I had to think then. I've lost track of what day it was. I know it's Wednesday. Yeah, definitely back Monday. And we might be moving next Wednesday live to Thursday because Bear's... Oh no, we can't. ignore that, it'll be on Wednesday. So back Monday, and ignore the whole of that. You can tell my head's in washing machine mode at the moment. I've got so much going on. So yeah, back Monday at 7 for some more monthly make fun using that beautiful butterfly hot air balloon. I've got butterflies on the brain today, haven't I? So thank you for joining me. Do take care, stay safe, and I will see you on Monday at 7 for some more monthly make ideas. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.